And no matter who's in the audience, they might love country. They're going to hear a country song that's going to touch them because it's a hit. We know it's a hit, and we'll put our spin on it, and it's like, and they go like, "Wow, that's
Right.
awesome."
Fort Walton whiskey.
Or we'll give
Oh, yeah.
Delta Connection Blues.
Delta Connection.
That's right.
So yeah,
This is a question just as kind of entering my 20s, and I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos and whatnot, or consulted people, but is there anything in your 20s that you guys wish you would have capitalized on, or if you could tell your younger self in your 20s?
How long is this podcast? I've got a list.
Yeah.
I've got a list, and it, not just about music, but about life in general.
Exactly.
And I joined the Air Force. I was 21 years old, and it was after trying to be a college student and realizing, yeah, I'm also in bar bands here in Florida. 'Cause I grew up in Florida, born in Pensacola and raised in Jacksonville, Gainesville, Lake City, and I grew up in the 70s, 16 years old, playing in bar bands, and just
Damn.
going around and going around and going around, and some of the things that I wish I had understood back then, or I was, sober enough to figure out, things like don't feel that you have to lead the band. It's not just about the drummer with a bunch of other people,
Right.
JP. It's about the whole band.
Right.
Together you can touch people. Yeah, you'll get a solo, but do all the fun stuff with the sticks and stuff when you're on the solo. Otherwise, you're with the band.
Yeah.
I tell myself, slow down,
Yeah.
leave the tequila alone. Yeah. Just
Sheila won't leave you alone.
yeah, it kept following me. Just slow down and try not to get too involved in yourself,
Man, yeah.
because the fact is, it's not always about you.
Mm-hmm.
And in music, in a band, it's about the band and what we can give to the audience.
Absolutely.
if I could tell my 20-year-old self, boy, you need to learn guitar, and you should have started 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
because by now I would be an exceptional guitarist, But I'm.
Fuck, man, yeah.
Autumn Poultry would be pretty good if their lead guitarist didn't suck.
Great advice.
It's kind of funny about that though, because we do a couple of Santana songs, and you can actually see Jesse channeling his inner Carlos and just getting into it. And we'll just sit. I'll look over at Dave and go, "He's there. Let's follow."
That's cool. How about you, Dave?
Oh, goodness gracious. I look back at my 20s and I think, wow, Dave, you really had a lot of great opportunities growing up, and you didn't realize it at the time. So I think just keeping your eyes open to opportunities
Right.
to improve yourself, improve your craft, whatever that craft is. Whether running a soundboard, sound engineering type of work, podcast, singing, instruments, art, math, whatever it is, just finding ways to improve that craft, and then as years go by, look back and think, you know what, that was an amazing opportunity, and look where it brought me now.
Right.
And then continue moving forward.
Yeah.
Supporting the arts as best as you can. There's probably, the music and the arts teach kids so much about reading, writing, and math, because there is all of that in art,
Right.
whether it's music or drawing, painting.
Right. Science too.
Absolutely.
The chemistry
Yes.
of all that.
Yes. And so, finding those creative ways, whatever that creative way is for you
Right.
to express yourself in art, just finding it and enjoying it and building up those talents as best as you can, or finding help to help you with
Right.
those talents.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
There's so many times when you sit there and you listen to someone talking, and you go, I wonder how they could say that better.
Really?
It would touch more people. And you use music, can get a point across
Right.
that just screaming and yelling doesn't do.
Yeah, that's a great way to
You
put it.
know, and it's just the arts teach you about communicating ideas.
Right.
And to support the arts, I mean, I thought when I was growing up in high school that bless their hearts, I loved the football team and loved playing on the field and stuff at halftime and stuff. But so many times they'd come in and say, okay, well, the football team can make us money, the band not so much.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take some of their money and give it here, or you know,
Right.
from the arts programs and stuff to other, not necessarily sports,
Right.
but other programs. What you're doing is you're taking away from that chance for that kid, that young person, to learn how to communicate. Because what's one of the big problems we have right now? We cannot communicate.
Mm.
And if you can communicate without forcing somebody to go to fist,
Right.
that would be fantastic.
Right.
Instead of saying, I'm going to hit you, say, let's talk about this. This is how I'm feeling. And use the music.
Right. Right.
Use
Hold on.
the
Let me
art.
grab my guitar.
That's it. Or,
Dun 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 dun.
Let me sing
You're an
this.
idiot.
Let me sing this song.
I mean,
Back in black.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
As long as it's not the highway to hell.
Right. Right.
Way to hell.
Of course, I do like playing that song. It's a lot of fun.
That's one.